because of that, I feel that he's learned to be a successful athlete.
Well, we are ready for this big and important heavyweight fight. Let's throw up to our ring announcer, Jeremiah Gallegos.
Here we go with our first title attraction of the evening. And it's scheduled for 10 rounds for the vacant WBA Continental North American Heavyweight title. We introduce to you first, ready to make his ring walk, hailing from Baltimore, Maryland, USA, presenting Charming Cassius Chaney.
That was big 6'6" former basketball player Cassius Chaney.
Charming Cassius Chaney.
Well, yeah, Albert did like the way how calm he was. I guess that can be charming in a way.
He was very calm. I feel like very confident, at ease, and I think we're going to see an upset here.
Well, we'll get in. And that's Carl King, who's joined us ringside. And we'll get into what the numbers in certain betting parlors basically have this as a pick'em fight. So this is going to be a very, and it's an important fight because the winner of this fight is going to be somewhere in the heavyweight division.
You know what is, when we had the fighter meetings, this young man was calm, collected, and ready to go.
Well, who's ready to go now is Trevor Bryan. He'll make his way to the ring. Jeremiah Gallegos, bring him in.
His opponent here tonight, he's the fighting pride of Albany, New York, introducing Trevor the Dream Bryan.
Here comes Trevor Bryan, 34-year-old. Making that first ring walk since what he calls was a night that we didn't see Trevor Bryan when he fought Daniel Dubois back about 17 months ago.
It's tough to have a loss and then that long of a layoff. It gives you lots of time to mentally get into your own head.
Well, both big heavyweights are in the ring. So to get this fight started, let's throw up the ring announcer, Jeremiah Gallegos.
And our fight fans, we continue our celebration of the 92nd only in America boxing extravaganza. And it is all presented by Hall of Famer, Mr. Don King of Don King Productions. Live here from the Casino Miami Highline in Miami, Florida, USA. This championship attraction is scheduled for 10 rounds for the vacant WBA Continental North America Heavyweight Championship. This contest is sanctioned by the Florida State Athletic Commission, also sanctioned by the World Boxing Association. The WBA president is Gilberto Jesus Mendoza. Our supervisor here tonight, representando Panama, Jose Oliver Gomez. The three judges here scoring this contest on the 10-point system are Rourke Young, Daniel Fitzgerald, and Toby Tamarkin. And our championship referee at the sound of the bell is Luis Pabon Rivas. And now, fight fans, here we go. 10 rounds of action for our title attraction. Introducing to you first tonight, fighting out of the blue corner, standing with head trainer Fred Weaver, wearing green and gold. He officially weighed 257 pounds. Tonight, he enters his contest with an outstanding record. 23 bouts, 22 victories, 15 wins coming to you by way of knockout with only one blemish. Here is the former WBC USA Silver Heavyweight Champion, fighting and residing out of New London, Connecticut by way of Baltimore, Maryland, presenting to you the charming Cassius Chaney. And across the ring tonight, fighting out of the red corner, standing with lead trainer Stacy McKinley, wearing black with orange. He officially weighed in 264 pounds. This evening, he steps into this title feature near perfect. 23 bouts, 22 victories, 15 wins coming to you by way of knockout with only one defeat. Here is the former multi-time title holder and the former three-time defending WBA World Heavyweight Champion, living and training out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Here is the fighting pride of Albany, New York, presenting Trevor the Dream Bryan.
Okay, guys, you receive instruction in the dressing room. They're having a clean match, okay? Here, to up is good. Here is up to is good. Okay, good luck. God bless you.
10-round heavyweight bout. Trevor Bryan, 22 and 115 knockouts. He's in the black with the orange. Cassius Chaney, the same, 22 and 115 knockouts. He's in the green. Mark Abrams joined by ringside by the Hall of Famer Christy Martin, as well as Carl King. And we are underway with our 10-round heavyweight bout here in Miami.
See both guys starting out, on the cautious side. I'm sure they're big guys. They respect each other's power. They actually sparred together before, so they know what each other can crack.
What's that mean? Does that mean anything that they spar? If they sparred a handful of rounds, 10 rounds with each other, Christy?
Well, I think it means something if one of the guys has improved and the other hasn't. And Cassius told me yesterday that he had improved.
It could go either way. When you look at these guys, I'm looking at the body of both guys. My biggest concern is Trevor Bryan over the course of the last few years has not been able to get down to what I feel is probably his prime weight. It's gonna be interesting as this fight progresses. We'll see. We'll see how this green hat, his Cassius Chaney handles this.
We'll see. Cassius seems a little tight, though. I mean,
he does.
You can see
hesitant.
Trevor's moving, like he's moving and grooving a little bit, relaxed. Good right hand by Chaney, though.
He landed a solid right hand. Now he goes with the jab down to the body.
Once we get through round one, I think these guys are still trying to figure each other out. Maybe not.
Chaney just missed with a big right hand. Chaney, the former University of New Haven basketball player. He told me he thinks he's the best basketball playing boxer in the world.
And he does have a college degree, so that alone is a statement that is different in the fight game.
It certainly is. Something he should be extremely proud of. He's in a class by himself with that.
Absolutely.
Trained by Fred Weaver. Here's Cassius Chaney. Chaney coming off a first-round stoppage over Matthew McKinley that took place on August 20, 2022 in Uncasville, Connecticut. The right hand from Chaney again that just missed.
But that right hand is so close, and he's throwing it with so much confidence.
Bad intentions.
Bad intentions, Carl.
As this fight goes on and we get into the middle rounds, that shot could be a really difference maker for Cassius Chaney if he can land that, because it's awful close now.
You think Chaney's trying to take Dubois back? Trying to take Bryan back to the Dubois fight, kind of get him in that same headspace.
Absolutely, I think. And that's what anyone in this position should do, is try to remind him of that last episode that he had, that he claims was not him. So, and it looks like Trevor's trying to, he wants to land a big shot himself, it looks like.
If Chaney follows up that right hand with the left hook, that might change the name of the game here.
It's the name. Some of the greatest trainers in all the world has told me before, finish with the hook.
Always.
Look at that.
Many fighters can slip one or maybe two, but it's that 3 and 4 that come along. It's hard to keep continually slipping.
Yeah, and Trevor Bryan has a lot of skills, but I think he's doing himself an injustice carrying the amount of weight he's carrying. Because at some point, he's not, his reflexes aren't quite what they once were.
Round 2 scheduled for 10. Like we said, very even on, saw Chaney's minus a 120. He was minus 120, Bryan was minus 105, so that made Chaney the slightest of favorites.
Which you got to figure, here, that's an amazing thing, being that Trevor Bryan is a former WBA heavyweight champion. How often is that guy an underdog?
Correct.
Against a relatively unknown.
Exactly. There you go. He seems to be very confident and deliberate with his strategy.
Another hard right over the top. This one connects from Cassius Chaney.
It seems like Cassius Chaney has become a little more, he's more loose and more elusive, and his punches are flowing just a little quicker.
It's just once the timing and the rhythm comes in effect, and, if the fight goes on rounds 4, 5, 6, a lot of things can take place. Stamina, conditioning.
And also Trevor Bryan's been in the bigger fights.
Right.
So that may come into play as we go later in the fight as well.
And Bryan was a very accomplished amateur, if I'm not mistaken, way back when. And like we said, Chaney was a basketball player, only had about 27 amateur fights.
Well, it really looks like he's learned how to fight.
Yes.
He's using his jab well. He's staying out of harm's way so far anyway. Looks like he has good balance.
Nice little jab to the body.
He definitely looks like an athlete.
Yeah,
Not
does.
just a boxer, but just a good athlete.
Well, he did tell us the footwork from basketball and boxing quite similar, so that gave him like a little bit of an advantage in terms of when he switched sports. Or maybe the learning curve was in another right hand. Trevor Bryan now getting his first offensive onslaught of the night. Hard right from Chaney. Rocks Bryan and down he goes.
What a shot. What a shot.
A counter right just put Trevor Bryan on the canvas.
It seemed like it was a matter of time. That punch was getting awful close.
It was getting close. Each and every time was getting a little closer.
Jab.
Second round coming to a close. See if Bryan has another opportunity as he tries to land another right hand. Chaney lands a big right again. It hurts Bryan as he holds on as round 2 comes to a close. Big right hand from Cassius Chaney.
Huge right hand that sent Bryan back to the corner with something to think about.
I mean, we're sitting here ringside, and Chaney's been so close on about 2 or 3 of them. Finally connects as we kind of see the end of the damage that Cassius Chaney inflicted on Trevor Bryan.
Mark, we're sitting here, we're talking about how close he's been coming to landing that shot. And we're only in the second round. He landed the big shot in the second round. So if he continues at this particular rate, I think he's had a great opportunity to remind Trevor Bryan of a guy named Daniel Du Bois. And what did that go, 5 or 6 rounds? I can't recall.
Now, you're Bryan. I know, obviously, Christie's fought, been in many, many corners. You've managed so many fighters. You've managed fighters coming off of devastating losses like that. Bryan coming back to that corner now. What's he thinking? Is he say, oh no, not this again?
Well, there's a lot of guys have a difficult time accepting defeat and don't know how to come back. And if you look at Trevor, I'd have to assume that he doesn't really, because his body is not in shape. I don't know if he really wants it like that.
Oh, good right hand again from Cheney.
Trevor's coming out, though, and kind of stalking Cheney as if to want us to say that, no, I'm here. I'm not going away after just one shot.
Right. And that's exactly what he needs to do at this point, because he can get a little bit out of hand. You want to stop this kind of momentum and shift it a little bit. And, he is a former world champion, so we can't forget that.
Good right again from Cheney. And rocks Bryan again.
Trevor's hurt again.
Hard right and a left from
there
Cheney. Big right hand drives Bryan back to the ropes.
It looks like the left hook could be the shot for Cheney.
Just has to follow up that right hand, and it's there.
Cassius Cheney.
But he's landing that right hand at will.
Yeah, he is.
And each one is hurting him more and more.
And the nose.
And each one is hurting him more and more. And each one is hurting him more and more.
Starting to bleed a lot from the nose is Bryan. Big heavyweights throwing bombs. Left hook from Cassius Cheney.
Cassius Cheney's staying busy. He's busy. He's looking for that big shot. So we don't know. Is he going to tire out? Or
there's 4 big shots again from Cheney.
Now that's the big question. Conditioning will be the big key. Whether this becomes a war of attrition, or if a guy's in great shape and he can do this all night, it looks like he's well on his way to victory so far.
But these are heavyweights, Carl.
Oh, yeah,
one punch can change it.
Trust me.
Either way, as you know.
I've been on both sides of that.
Big uppercut rocked Trevor Bryan again.
Let us not forget Mike Weaver and Big John Tate. 15 rounds and,
What was that, like 15 seconds to go?
And Mike Weaver landed the shot in it after losing 14 and a half rounds. So here it is.
Trevor Bryan getting back to the jab. Cheney flicks with a body punch. And you see the feints now have Bryan reacting.
Cheney looks calm.
Another right hand from Cheney.
We're going to see if he's in shape.
That's what he's already started to drop his hands a little bit, though.
Mouth starting to open up a little bit. If he's in the condition that he claims he's in, he shouldn't have a problem. But I'm not seeing that.
And of another solid round for Cassius Cheney.
What do you think they're telling Trevor over there in the corner, Carl?
Put your hands up.
Move your head.
Fight like hell. You know what I don't like about Cheney? His legs are in great position over here, but his arms on the ropes. Does not rest the shoulders.
And Fred Weaver is a lot of experience, the trainer that he has, so I'm surprised he hasn't dropped those arms off the ropes. I agree with you 100%.
It's fundamentals.
You start round 4, scheduled for 10.
And listen, if Bryan can, survive these rounds and get him into deep water, we're going to see if Cheney has the conditioning it takes to bring home a victory over a former world champion.
Cheney has good speed when he throws the jab. He's a nice jab. Now he's being lazy with it. Hands starting to come down.
Mouth starting to open a little bit. It's concerning. If you're a Cheney fan, it's concerning.
And Trevor's.
If you're a Cheney fan, it's concerning.
Right to the body from Trevor Bryan.
These are the rounds that he needs to. If you're Cassius Cheney, you need to remind him of earlier rounds. Don't let him build the confidence and get rolling here in the mid rounds, because that can change the whole shifting of momentum of the fight.
Don't let him build the confidence and don't let him rest. He's letting him rest a little bit.
Exactly.
And especially a guy like Brian who's fought in title fights, was a world champion. He can start to use his experience as they get into the later rounds.
It's kind of hard to imagine a guy underestimating a guy like Trevor Bryan and expecting to go out and destroy him in 2 or 3 rounds. That would be a big mistake for any fighter to try to do. But if he has a steady diet of that jab, right hand, left hook, it just may carry him to a victory tonight. But if he doesn't, look out.
And I feel like at this point, Trevor, this is the first round that Trevor's winning. To me, he's dictating the pace a little bit and landing the punches that he wants to at will.
Well, he's certainly gotten back into the fight. He's not hurt.
Yeah, and it's almost like Cassius is waiting to throw that one punch again. Let me land that one punch that's going to knock him out.
Well, do you think the activity of Chaney over the last couple rounds is maybe taking something out of him as well?
He could have tried to step on the gas a little too hard.
Which would, if that's the case, that would be surprising. A guy like Cassius Chaney getting an opportunity to fight a former world champion. I would think that anyone in that position would be in great shape and not fade or falter in the mid rounds.
He hasn't been as active here in round 4, and he's letting Trevor Bryan now push him back to the corner and get some work done. Is Trevor Bryan counter right from Chaney?
Cassius, he's breathing pretty hard.
He is
taking
breathing.
some pretty deep breaths over there.
I would find that concerning if I'm in his trainer and in his camp. That should not be the case. And, inexperience in big fights.
And that could have taken a lot out of him. Here I am, Don King Promotions, fighting a former champion, big stage, pay-per-view. I don't think he's had this kind of opportunity before.
Oh, and he looked anxious. He was throwing the shots. He's landing shots. He hurt Trevor a few times, but he's allowed him to get back into the fight, which that could turn out to be a mistake.
Chaney was telling us after their sparring session that Bryan kind of whispered to him that one day he believed Cassius Chaney could be a champion. So he actually instilled a lot of confidence in the Cassius Chaney when they sparred several years ago.
Well, he can throw that right out of the window tonight because that doesn't. Trevor Bryan's trying to get back to where he once was.
Yes.
And, a guy like Cassius right now should not allow him to regain that momentum or, more importantly, the confidence.
Bryan very well could have taken round number 4.
I think for sure I gave him round 4 as the first round, and now he's pushing Cassius back.
Peeking over Christie's shoulder, I see her unofficial scorecard, 3 rounds to 1 plus a knockdown for Cassius Chaney.
Well, the fireworks at some point is going to have to stop. This is round 5. We're midway through.
And in a 10-round fight, 1 knockdown isn't as debilitating as it would be if it was a shorter fight. Bryan still has got 6 rounds to work with to kind of get back in this fight. And if he gets his boxing game going behind the jab, he's got a chance to do that.
It just appears that what he's trying.
And he has been out of the ring, so maybe he's starting to get past the ring rust a little bit, and we're going to see a different Bryan as the time goes on. As the rounds passes by, he may start feeling more comfortable in there, back to the old self that he said we didn't see in his last fight.
Exactly. Well, and if that's the case, you got a guy, this guy's allowing him to get back into the match. You know, he is 264 pounds is punching on Mr. Cassius Chaney. So, and he has some experience. He's been a champion, and that elevates your confidence, more than anything else.
There's Bryan trying to dig in the corner. Overhand right just misses, but brings Bryan into the corner now. Fights out with a little hook.
In the earlier rounds when Chaney landed those solid shots, he followed him right up. There he landed a good shot, and he kind of backed away.
Well, his last fight went 1 round. See, he could be somewhere in the back of his mind thinking, wait a minute, can I do the 10 the way I want to do it? Or is he, holding back a little bit, trying to reserve some of that energy?
We are halfway home, our 10-round heavyweight fight between Trevor Bryan and Cassius Chaney. You see some of the action in round 5. There's a good right hand from Chaney. It's probably the best punch of the whole round.
It was the best punch, but earlier he would follow that up.
Right.
This time he just backed away.
I think both guys are waiting for that second win to kick in. And I think it's a bit soon for that to happen. There's no third win.
Right.
So,
we start the second half of the fight, round 6. Cassius Chaney in the green, Trevor Bryan in the black. Christy Martin, Carl King joining me, Mark Abrams here ringside at Casino Miami. From 92, only in America.
If you look at Cassius Chaney, he has the skill set to just keep Trevor at bay. The jab he uses, if he uses it more often as he did earlier, and follow up with the right hand left hook, it would work to his advantage. I just think that he's allowing Trevor to dictate the pace at this point.
Yeah, but Bryan is he's working behind the jab. He's kind of pushing Chaney back a little bit. There's a nice jab from Chaney. But before that, he really wasn't doing much of anything.
But when Trevor does push him back, and he gets to that certain point, nothing seems to happen at the end. He does react and try to turn it around. And I'm speaking of, Cassius Chaney.
Trevor he just looks more at ease. He looks more confident. Like, no, I'm in charge. I'm going to recover from that knockdown, and I've got this.
But I think at some point he's going to have to pick it up a little bit, punch output rise. Because right now, both guys seem to be cruising. And if you're going to cruise at this point,
Bryan has kind of got this fight to his pace and the way he wants this fight to go. He's got Chaney going backwards, maybe only flicking jabs. We haven't seen too many of those quick right hands since the 3rd round as he misses with a left hook to Cassius Chaney.
It's a very low punch output, and I get it. I know they're both big guys, but Chaney was so busy early on, and now it's one and done.
And I don't think it's anything that Bryan is doing so much. I don't know if it's maybe a combination of Bryan jabbing a little bit more and Chaney tiring a little bit more.
Well, let me reiterate. His last fight, Chaney's last fight was 1 round.
Correct.
Now he's in with a guy that's not going to cooperate with that 1 round thing. So he has to readjust himself, and hopefully, if you're a Chaney fan, you would want him to be in the condition to carry it out. That's the big question we're looking at right now.
And Trevor Bryan has the body language of a guy who is trying to take control of this fight.
He's definitely on the hunt.
Mm-hmm.
He is no longer the hunted. He is the hunter.
He's not really thrown anything more than a jab, but he's the one throwing more punches here in round number 6.
And he's continually pushing Cheney back.
Yeah, he is definitely the aggressor. Yeah,
Right.
and his output is increasing. So hey, look, guy's been world champion. So at some point that desire to be that again, they just kick in. And if you're Cassius Cheney, you can't afford to relax and start judging your own rounds, thinking you're out front, this and that. You can do this, take a round off here or there. You got to continue to go after him and make it decisive.
But by Christie's very unofficial scorecard, the knockdown is now the difference in this fight.
Absolutely, and if that's what Cheney's betting on, the knockdown making the difference, we're ready to make it even here.
Well, we still got 4 rounds to go as we start round number 7.
Well,
that quick right hand is gone.
Yeah,
we're not seeing it anymore.
And it was quite effective. So it's. And Trevor is used to fighting not only at this pace but at this weight.
Right, and Trevor, he's become more busy with his jab, and he's throwing his jab out there with a lot more steam behind it, a lot more speed on it as well.
Left hook by Cheney to start round 7. And Cheney's starting to work the jab. Went upstairs, a little quick right.
Look at the speed he has. He just needs to take advantage of that.
Maybe that second wind is starting to kick in.
Right hand from Trevor Bryan.
Yeah.
Cheney's talking to him, it looks like.
Yeah, he's been talking for the last couple of rounds. And now it's time to put it all together because Trevor's certainly putting it together.
Absolutely.
Good right hand again from Cheney. Right on the jaw. Trevor Bryan takes it well. Uppercut and a left and a right from Cheney. Right hand from distance now. Not only is Bryan taking, he's trying to fight back now.
Cheney's able to sneak in those right uppercuts as well. And he did follow that right hand up with a left hook.
He talked about that uppercut being one of his better punches.
Trevor Bryan trying to work on the inside now. Cheney misses with an uppercut, tries to push Bryan off to create some space. There's another
nice
right hand.
This is not a time for Trevor Bryan to get tired, that's for sure.
Well, he's trying to stay right in the kitchen of Cheney as Cheney uncorks another right hand. Hand and down goes Bryan, and he is knocked out. A devastating knockout for Cassius Cheney.
Oh, man, he is out. Woo.
He's out. Well, I don't know where that right hand went for a few rounds, but it certainly made a reappearance.
A perfect right hand, and right now Trevor Bryan is down. A big right hand from Cassius Cheney.
Wow. That was something, man.
Trevor Bryan, and he's still down on his stomach here. And let's take a look at this.
Oh my goodness, he's open for this. Hands down.
Wow. It was just a short.
There's another angle that we'll see this devastating right hand from Trevor Bryan.
Oh, Cassius.
From Cassius Cheney.
A short
hitting
right hand.
Trevor Bryan. Bryan is down on his back
like
now.
This, yeah. You never want to see a guy down this long. I hope he's, okay. This is not a pleasant sight. And you got to wonder, where does Trevor Bryan go from here? It's 2 devastating knockouts in a row.
Well, I think the immediate concern is his well-being as paramedics are in the ring now to work on Trevor Bryan.
He is awake.
Yeah, he is.
And
And they now prop him up. He's sitting now. He's sitting on the canvas.
Yeah, he's in bad shape.
And now they just laid him
Laid
right
him
back
back down.
down. It's not much to say. This is unfortunately part of the sport that we see sometimes. I believe he's talking. He is talking. You see Cassius Chaney. You can tell there's some concern on the face of Cassius Chaney.
Well, it would be, no one is in this sport to hurt the next guy. Not in a serious way.
Yeah.
They like to hurt him for about 10 seconds, and that's it. But that was a way to come back from a couple of questionable rounds.
we were asking where'd the right hand go?
Well, yeah. He might have hurt us.
We got the answer.
Yeah, we sure did.
Obviously.
And it was more like a right hook, seemed like.
Yeah, it came around a little bit, exactly. Cassius Chaney talking to some of his fans right above us, and they're going to put a neck brace on Trevor Bryan.
You all right? Good job. Yeah, man, I hope he all right.
Once again, we'll take a look at this shot.
It's like a right hook. It comes across at least.
He actually got a good wind-up on it, which actually added to the ferocity of the shot.
Wow.
See him wind up, kind of torque, and bang.
Well, he's been down too long for my liking.
Well, they just applied a neck brace to him. And he definitely was talking to some of the paramedics. Looks like they're now cutting the gloves off of Trevor Bryan. Okay. Let's go to the panel to get some post-fight reaction.
Well, Albert, we continue to want to send good thoughts and prayers to Trevor Bryan as he continues to be administered to by the medical officials. But we also may have seen a star is born in Cassius Chaney this evening.
Absolutely, I think so. I mean, again, like we were talking about in the press conference, how he just came in relaxed. You know, he's a former D1 athlete that played basketball, so he knows about the big game. He knows how it feels. And he came in super relaxed. And then as you saw, as game day or fight day came, he became more and more serious.
And, of course, he came out, got that big knockdown early in the fight, was really in control, slowed down a little bit before the knockout came, but when it did, that was impressive.
It was definitely very, very impressive. But, like, my thing is, like, I always go to critique, like, hey, the things that you didn't do. I think he pulled off the gas and friggin' actually started tapping the brakes a little bit in those, in that fourth and fifth round, to where because he just kind of sat back and he actually, you know, with a veteran and an experience and a former champion as Bryant, he kind of let him back in the fight, and then he felt like he got his gas back, and then he started like laying it, and that's where you see the knockout.
And, of course, again, we want to hope that Trevor Bryan is okay. He took such a powerful shot. but we want to make sure he's being tended to, and we'll get the proper medical treatment. All right, we are going to send it back down to ringside. Here is Mark Abrams.
Thanks, Bob. And said they're still working on Trevor Bryan. You can see.
As we said, and Carl said, this is the side of boxing we don't like to see.
Yeah, we don't.
So hopefully we can get some kind of word as they're checking all the vital signs of Trevor Bryan. Seems like he's at least conversing with the paramedics.
Well, they haven't moved to the stretcher. You know what I mean? I think that's a good sign.
I'll tell you when. Go. I hope we make a speedy recovery, man. Trevor's a good guy. He told me back when I was living in Miami in the gym.
Trying to
finish it, I'll be world champ, man. I hope he get healthy. It's just ironic we've been fighting in Miami, fighting each other.
He's very diligent with Trevor Bryan.
Keep his family safe, 100%, and who everybody does on this card.
So Cassius Chaney has, obviously, and we can talk a little bit more about this once we find out more about Trevor Bryan. Cassius Chaney, devastating knockout. He's now a player in the heavyweight division.
For sure, and it's a tough situation for him because here he's a young up-and-coming fighter that just scored a tremendous knockout, but now his opponent may be seriously injured. So how much can you be happy and celebrate at this point?
Not only opponent, there was definitely a lot of mutual respect. They spar with each other. As we mentioned, Bryan gave Chaney a lot of respect when they were sparring, gave him a lot of encouragement when they were sparring partners with each other. So yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's a big part of Cassius Chaney right now who's a little less concerned about the win and just seeing how his adversary.
Yeah, they're gonna go to the stretch.
They're gonna
carry him out. Yeah. That's never good to see.
And like Carl and Albert said during the panel, Bryan worked himself back into this fight. He didn't do anything fancy or dynamic, but he won some rounds and he worked himself back into the fight. And one thing I say about boxing, you could be 11 rounds down, but in round 12 you can hit that 12-run home run. And not that Chaney needed that, but it was one blink of an eye, and then this fight turned and was over. They got Trevor Bryan on the stretcher now as we hear a round of applause. And if we get any word from on the condition of Trevor Bryan before we sign off tonight, we'll be sure to give it to our fans watching around the world on DonKing.com, iTube247.com, and Fight.tv. Well, we will get the time of the devastating stoppage. Let's throw up to our ring announcer, Jeremiah Gallegos.
Ladies and gentlemen, here from Casino Miami Highlight, we send our wishes and a healthy recovery to Trevor Bryan here tonight. The official time comes to you, 2 minutes, 3 seconds. Round number 7 to the winner by KO. And the new WBA Continental North American Heavyweight Champion, Charming Cassius Chaney.
There you have it. Cassius Chaney goes to 23-1 with 16 knockouts. Trevor Bryan falls to 22-2. And, we wish the best for Trevor Bryan. Hopefully he's okay. Maybe just a knockout, and he'll be okay very quickly.
Let's hope so. I mean, boxing runs through all of our blood, or we wouldn't be here. But those things, it just makes your heart stop.
Yeah, that's never good to see. You want to see guys compete on a high level, and you never want to see anybody injured or hurt or carried off on the stretcher, whether it's precautionary or not. It just drops you. It makes you.
And we had two evenly matched fighters here,
right.
Carl. So many times we see an A class against a C or a D or maybe even an F.
Exactly.
And that just increases the chances of something like this happening.
But it also shows you, Trevor is better than this. He is absolutely better than this. My personal opinion is he's carrying far too much weight. And I don't know if that played a role in this or not, but he's been carrying too much weight for too long.
Just a devastating one punch, and Trevor Bryan, like we said, hopefully he will be okay.
It's one punch that changed the future of two fighters tonight.
Exactly. One punch.
One punch changed the future.